Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Popcorn. This is Jason.
This is Kai. Wow, totally just ruined the script. Sorry.
We have it in front of us too.
I know, right? And we have another great discussion for you today. The movie of the day is So I Married an Axe Murderer. It's from 1993, so it's whew, a year younger than me, but I still want to give everyone a spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning for 1993. I was 3 years old at that moment. Depending on
Because
what
you're
month it
old.
came out. I'm an old man. But yeah, this is So I Married an Axe Murderer from 1993. It has Mike Myers in it. And I think it's like what you believe Mike Myers can do in a movie. I
Yeah,
think
it
like this is
was.
like his whole thing. Like that's what he does in a movie.
Yeah, honestly, like it didn't feel like we're not on dislike ship, but yeah, it was very, it was Mike Myers. It was very Mike Myers. And I love Mike Myers, but it was very Mike Myers.
Yeah, I'll go to my first like major like, and I think it's like for me it was like the most I laughed in terms of like this whole movie was
Hmm.
him playing his dad.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like
the father's
he's like
hilarious.
Scottish dad. I think that was like, and when you see it, you're like immediately like that's Mike Myers. And I
Yep.
think Mike Myers like always has a role. I think I don't know, like does he ask that like when he like goes in and like signs a contract for a movie? Like I
Wow.
need a character that I also play, but have like a bunch of prosthetics on and everything.
Well, I think he
Like
writes mo. Doesn't he write a lot of them?
I don't know. That would
Because
make a
like,
lot of sense, right?
yeah, it seems like he's just like, oh, I'm gonna be this and this and this
Yeah.
and this.
and
Figure
then
it out.
director and everybody else is like, "What? What do we do?"
You're 10 people. It's gonna take 2 months just to do one of these characters.
I wonder
Figure it
how they
out.
did it too, where it's like there was times where like they're both in the same scene.
Yeah.
It's just it's like the whole like foreground and whatever, like who's in the back and who's in the front. But I wonder like how do they do it where like there's that scene where they're like he's coming to see his family like to bring the haggis and stuff for like that like soccer game, but like
Uh,
he's walking through the doorway and then they show regular Mike Myers and then they show his dad who's played by Mike Myers in the front and off to the
mhm.
right. So it's like, what did they do? Did they like film Mike Myers as normal right Mike Myers and then like stitch his dad on top of it, him playing his dad? Like are they two different scenes basically, or are they
I
is that
think
like a
so.
body double?
I think it's kind of what they did for Nutty Professor when Eddie Murphy played every damn character.
All of the characters?
Yeah, they put
Yeah.
like a tennis ball. I think they had like they did it. No, I guess they did it similar because they had it was at a dinner table. Some of the scenes were like a dinner table, and they had like 3 or 4 different chairs, and Eddie was playing every single character. So I think they put a tennis ball as like a point of reference for where he was supposed to look, and then they stitch everything together.
Man, it's just Eddie Murphy having a
Just
dinner with like
conversations
eight
with
different
himself. Yeah.
just all these tennis balls and he's just sitting there.
He's like, oh, okay. I'm now talking to grandma. Now I'm talking to my brother. It's like, oh,
And you wonder why those characters like Eddie Murphy with Nutty Professor and Mike Myers here, like if that is the thing that like they're talking to like they're acting to tennis balls to like that's what everyone complains about the Marvel movies that like oh it's just them acting to like some dude in like a green suit like oh
yeah.
I'm a dragon or something like that like commercial and stuff like you would think like oh Mike Myers would be like I could have done that easily I do that all the time.
Well, it's like that Mad TV sketch that we were watching with Bobby Lee being the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
And he's just going at it. There's demons everywhere.
Which is like it's a prelude to what is going on with Avengers and all that stuff.
Basically, yeah.
but but the like we're like so we can kind of preface also we decided in the month of February to choose like comedic style movies and stuff. So the first one was for this month is So I Married an Axe Murderer and stuff. And it was something I've never seen. I could have sworn I saw like the very last bits of it
Okay.
on like TV like a long time ago because I was like, I don't know, this seems kind of weird. like it, when you get like that weird deja vu, you're like, I've seen this
Yeah,
before
like,
and
oh,
stuff.
okay, I've seen this, or this feels
Yeah,
familiar.
yeah, but I couldn't remember exactly like why I was watching it or like what was going on.
Hmm.
But it was nice. It was a fun story. It was cool that it was set in San Francisco. Both Kai and
So
I know San
that's
Francisco.
that's what surprised me.
Yeah.
So I knew of the movie, like just I saw the name and I was like, oh, that's a funny name. Oh, that's Mike Myers. But for some reason, I just automatically assumed it was filmed in New York or set in New York. Like all these rom-coms are set in New York. So
Mhm.
when I saw this, or when I started watching the movie, I was like, that's the Golden Gate Bridge. This is not New York.
Right.
So it kind of
and
messed
uh
me up.
and a normal skyline of San Francisco skyline is like a mess right now.
Oh
But
yeah.
with the giant Salesforce tower in the sky and everything. But like that's sort of what I remember the skyline when I was a child, like at 3 years old, 4 years old,
Yeah.
five, going on whatever. And like the Transamerica building was the main focal point. You have Coit Tower, you have all these different things and
Mhm.
stuff. And but I remember the Transamerica building was like the tallest thing in all of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Now that thing's like a dwarf. Or
That thing's a little baby now.
yeah, it's just like tiny compared to the Salesforce Tower. But that was a big thing that my dad used to like. I remember he used to drive us to the Transamerica building. We never went inside,
Hmm.
but and to everyone that's not from San Francisco or haven't seen it, but the Transamerica building is the pyramid kind of like spire building in San Francisco and stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
a big point. And I think it was a Bank of America, right? It was like a bank.
Yeah, it was a bank. It's actually one of my favorite buildings.
It's nice. It looks nice.
Yeah.
It has like some like flares out on the at the four sides,
Little
right?
ears. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that'd be something like to watch something on like the engineering of that building, like
No, you
depending
can
on
just
when it
watch
was like opened.
the heck is the name of that? You can just watch Zodiac and watch it get built.
That is true, right?
Just show the construction of it in like 2 minutes. You can just watch that.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I know everything about this building from
I'm a
Zodiac.
pro.
But I don't know. In terms of like I for me, I also was enamored or like really drawn into the acting of the person that played the woman, the axe murderer, or so to be,
Mm,
Nancy Travis. So her name was
the wife.
Harriet
Yeah.
in the movie and stuff. And I don't know. I actually enjoyed her character where it's like at first I was like, oh man, like they're totally like she's gonna be the axe murderer and stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was
Or
gonna be corny like that.
yeah, so I was like the twist at the end was kind of nice. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, oh, they're totally like right away, like she's the axe murderer and stuff. And like, so how was she? But she still played like this kind of like brooding, kind of secretive
Hmm.
character, and then
It's
has like these nuances that kind of freak out Mike
yeah, like the
Myers'
whole car
character.
scene. Yeah, when he was like, I'm one of your best husbands or whatever. And
Right.
she was like, what? He's just like, it's just a joke.
Yeah, stuff like that where it was like funny, or like uh that scene in the butcher shop where like magically he somehow gets a job at the butcher shop that she
Yeah,
works at
what?
and everything. And like Patty, my girlfriend next door next to me was like, that would never happen. That would walk into a place with like, I'm gonna be a butcher. But but that scene was fun too and everything. Like
Yeah,
they're playing around traditional Mike Myers kind of
yeah.
like character and stuff.
Lady
But
with
I
a
think
hatchet.
honestly, like the main thing that stood out to me was the Harriet character and then also the dad.
No, my favorite was the interaction between Tony, his friend Tony, the cop,
Uh-huh.
and the captain.
Yeah.
Tony like wants to be some action star and is like, why aren't you treating me like this? All these captains treat their subordinates like dirt, and you treat me so well. So the captain just starts freaking out on them.
Does he like
I
you
love
do I
that.
bet you want a hug, right?
Was that too much? It's like, dude, what?
Yeah, that guy was funny. And I remember that guy, he's from Argo, right? He's in the movie
Hmm.
Argo with Ben Affleck. I remember his scene was like just like his most popular like line was Argo, fuck yourself.
So there was there's a couple things that I had like I have my likes, but I also have like little notes of things that I noticed as I was
Mhm.
watching it. So the father mentions the Pentaverate.
I was gonna ask you the same exact thing. I'm
Yeah,
assuming you're going down this route.
the show is terrible.
Okay, so that is the show that he made on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it was like 30 years later almost.
Yeah, so I was like, man, is that like what it is? That's a I don't know what people call like deep cuts or something, or like
Yeah,
that's a really deep reference in terms of like just some random thing that the Scottish dad is saying in this
I think,
movie.
and I think that's how I found out about this movie. Like right before the TV show came out, I think I was scrolling through TikTok and there was a clip. There was that clip from the movie, and the father's talking about the Pentaverate and what the Pentaverate is, like a secret society. And I was like, oh, that's so weird, but that's kind of a funny scene. And then I think I looked through the comments and it was like, oh, it's from this movie. And I think that's how I found out about So I Married an Axe Murderer.
It makes
And
sense.
then I found out
It's a
about the
horrible
show.
show. Don't watch the show.
It has its moments, but it's very Mike Myers. It's he's
I can
trying to
see if
play
you
a bunch
don't
of
like Mike
characters.
Myers or like Mike Myers gets on your nerves after like a good like half an hour, like
Yeah.
yeah, watching a whole TV show is probably not the
Yeah, there's a
best deal.
Shrek cameo.
Oh yeah, whoa,
Yeah. It's like a costume. It's not like the
interesting.
CGI Shrek, but yeah, there's a Shrek cameo. You're just like, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, don't I wouldn't recommend it. The show has its moments, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. And then there was a scene, it was Mike Myers and his mother in the kitchen, and they kept showing this angle of like steam coming off the stove. And I think it was like carrots boiling, but it seemed like the carrots were boiling for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, those are gonna be
You
disgusting.
don't like mushy carrots? What are you talking
Oh
about?
no. And why did the dad treat the little brother so bad?
Oh, I don't know why, but that was like the funniest thing ever. Like,
Dad, come here. Like, dude.
hey, I'm assuming that's the brother, right? Like, they don't
Yeah, I think that
explain who that child is, and I was like, these old people have another child like that's like, but
20, 30 years younger than the first kid.
right? He called
Like,
his
what
head
is going on?
Sputnik too.
He was lighting that kid up, and he was like, dude, I feel so bad for him. Oh, the Scottish Wall of Fame was hilarious to me
Sean
with
Connery.
Sean
Yeah.
Connery. Oh my
I want to
goodness.
meet people like that where it's just like everything just I
Just
like
die hard to their
I have an
culture.
uncle that's like a diehard 49ers fan, so he's like a little like
A
man
little
cave in his
shrine.
house.
Mhm.
No, it's like a small room, but he has like one lazy boy chair, a giant TV in that room, and then everything he's collected over his years of watching the football games. And
Oh goodness.
it is impressive to see, but
Yeah.
there's like one person that can fit in there, and it's him. So
Oh, okay. So he's just by himself sad.
yeah, well, it's like, hey, if you don't have anybody to watch the game with, but you have this room, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
The room cuddles him. Oh, this is one of my likes, but the father's voice. Is that Austin Powers' voice?
I don't know. It may be like what, like a derivative of like because what came first? This movie came first
This
before
came
Austin
before Austin
Powers.
Powers. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that this must have like got him a few roles, possibly the Austin Powers roles, because
Well,
he
he
was able
wrote
to
that.
make that.
So
He wrote that
that's what I was
too.
looking. Yeah, I was looking at movies. So he wrote Goldmember, or he was one of the writers on Goldmember. And then The Spy Who Shagged Me, 99. He's a writer on that. And
The first one is
then
Austin Powers of Man and Mystery, right?
yeah, I'm pulling that one. That was 97. Yeah, he wrote
97.
that too.
Whoa, well, he was like an SNL writer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming if you tell him like that would be almost shocking if like a screenwriter's like, no, don't touch my script and everything. Like, I
Yeah.
think I think he's like done his dues to like at least write some comedic stuff and
Oh
everything.
yeah.
But
Wayne's World, Austin Powers.
yeah, so that's impressive. I guess it's like I wonder if he like already had like this set
A
of
world.
characters and is like
Yeah.
rolling around in his head.
It has to. Like even with Wayne's World, like Wayne's World he took from SNL, but he probably created that. And Austin
Yeah, right.
Powers, he was just like, this would be so cool. I love James Bond. Let's make a comedy.
And you see, you talking about the Wayne's World reference. It's like you see Mike Myers is like the epitome of like playing like multiple characters, and also Dana
Mhm.
Carvey, where it's like
Yeah,
Dana Carvey can have like multiple characters coming out of him all at once and stuff.
The
So
Master of Disguise is still one of my favorite movies.
yeah, I showed Patty that one, and like the whole turtle scene is like
Oh goodness, Turtle.
that movie is like definitely a movie. If you don't care what the hell you're watching that evening, watch that one because it's
That was a good one.
it's just it's just fun times.
What was up with the mom and Tony? The mom was all over Tony. Like, all
Yeah,
these old
and
ladies wanted Tony so bad.
Patty was like, "Oh, that's kind of nasty." Like the whole
Yeah.
thing that like the first time like she like kisses him goodbye, like
Oh
Mike is like
yeah.
standing next to him. It's like,
Just awkwardness. Like, okay.
like I don't know, like even at the wedding, it was funny at the wedding where like the parents were there like looking at their like children at the after party, whatever,
Mhm.
and then the dad's like really drunk, and then she just standing there.
Was what was another one? Oh, the scene. What did you think of the scene where I think they had just gotten back together? They're in the tub, and then what's the not Rachel,
Ralph.
Ralph.
Yeah,
Ralph
Ralph
shows
shows
up
up.
and he's just in a towel, and then his towel falls. Like
He's just like the
just his
well,
bare ass just out.
I bet you if they, I don't know what the rating was, if they actually put like nudity or something,
Mhm.
or like sexual content on like the rating, and like everyone back then when they're like, oh yeah, like we're gonna go see something, and then it's like just ends up being Mike
Just his
Myers'
butt
ass.
cheeks. People just walk out the theater like, I don't want to see this.
You're like, damn it.
Show me Harriet.
My one enjoyment throughout this whole week.
I thought it was gonna be Harriet.
But all right, do you think that like she actually probably does have a friend named Ralph,
Yeah.
but one of the husbands was Ralph, I'm assuming, because like the whole story turns out that she does have
Mhm.
three other husbands,
Yeah.
but so then yeah, she magically has a friend named Ralph too. Like
Just doubled up. She liked the
yeah, I
name
guess so,
Ralph.
right? And but I was like, man, it's pretty convenient.
Yeah. Like Ralph is not a man.
But
But Ralph came and went so fast. Like Ralph was not in the movie very long. It was like, hey,
no,
here's Ralph, and then
yeah,
Ralph disappeared.
that's why when you're still thinking about like maybe she is the axe murderer, and it's like, all right, well, she's maybe covering her bases,
Yeah.
and like, oh, here's Ralph and everything, just to make him feel comfortable. So like, it is like a kind of like veil over the audience's eyes, where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe she is still trying to trick him and everything or
Hmm.
whatever. But yeah, it was like quick 2 seconds.
So the whole time I watched the movie, I was scratching my head on how he never got into a wreck while he was driving through San Francisco because he was driving reckless.
Yeah, he's like always looking off like to the side. Like the
Yeah.
whole time when he like sees where she works for the first time, that like
Yeah,
world of
the
meat.
butcher shop,
Yeah, he's like driving
world
for
of
like a
meat.
good long time looking off
Yeah.
to the side. And I'm like, he would have crashed there. He would have crashed there.
That's what I'm saying. There would have been a stoplight. Like this man is just cruising for days and nothing happened.
Well, that's the thing. Patty and I were we're talking about that. Like when he was like leaving his house, when he was like gonna drive over there to like reconnect with Harriet, he
Mhm.
like barely stops at a stop sign going down the hill. And
Goodness.
Patty was like, "Oh, I think there was a time where like there wasn't a lot of like traffic signals. There was like a lot of stop signs, but I remember like there like Highway 1 by the beach. I
Hmm.
remember when I was growing up, everyone had like the thought. I don't know if it was true or not, but everyone
Hmm.
always had the thought that if you drove a certain mile per hour
Oh yeah.
down that
You get
road,
all
you
the
would always get
greens.
greens. Yeah,
People
so
still think about that for other places too.
Yeah,
What was that
there's
at?
always like those things that like people will think that.
Yeah, somebody was just telling me about that like a few weeks ago. Like, yeah, if you drive like 25 miles an hour on this road, you'll get all the greens. I was like, okay,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I guess I would. Do I want to drive 25 miles an hour?
Exactly. Like, it's a 30. I'm not driving 25. I'm driving 35.
Right. I don't know
Oh, and I
what.
still don't know. I don't know how Tony got a plane in the storm because they were talking about how dangerous the storm was, and then Tony was like, "I chartered a plane. I'm going to save my
Yeah,
friend."
who the hell do you call? Like, and then
Yeah,
that guy like falling
just
asleep and
falls asleep.
that's when you know definitely you're gonna die.
Yeah, and he just somehow still gets there. And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Movie magic.
You think that hotel or like where they stayed at for their honeymoon is real? I
I was
didn't
gonna
look it up
ask
last night.
you about that
Yeah, Patty and
because
I
I
were
don't know
like,
where they were going.
and then how far is it?
Yeah,
Because like if you had to charter a plane to go there, but then like didn't
they
seem like they were
drove.
driving very long. They went across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah,
So that means it's going up north, more north of San
because
Francisco.
I thought Bodega Bay. I was like, oh, maybe Bodega Bay, but then they weren't near water.
Yeah, they were like in the woods.
Yeah,
So
maybe
I don't know.
Jenner. I don't know. They
But
found
then
some
like
secret hideaway.
as you go north, like to like Santa Rosa and stuff, you don't get too much
No, so you have to
like
go
woodsy
past
area.
that. Like
Yeah.
Bodega Bay's past that.
So I don't know.
They found some secret place that nobody knows about.
Right.
And then yeah, chartered a plane to get there. Like, come on.
But what would you say is your dislikes about this movie?
I only have one. It's just that some of the jokes. Like I love Mike Myers, but after a certain point, you're just like, all right, it's the same kind of joke. So it was like the joke style, and some of the jokes. I was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, I can see where like he did that like where he like would said like hello like multiple times throughout
Yeah.
so that does kind of get annoying where it's like yeah you can kind of like use it once and stuff but yeah it is a traditional Mike Myers movie. I think he does kind of taper off where it's like Austin Powers is more like
Those are
to the
quick.
role and
Yeah.
everything like there was a lot of like other things going on and stuff so it's
Hmm.
like this one was like exactly what you believe like Mike Myers like does in a movie. He kind of like is that comedic kind of, but then he wants to be like kind of like like in a rom com, and so it's like
Hmm.
yeah. So it's like how
Like
serious can he be?
the
Yeah,
balance was off. I was like, okay, this is a rom com, but I'm trying to do my typical jokes.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that as like a it gets annoying. Yeah,
Hmm. What did you dislike about it?
I don't know. I guess like the whole like play of the story, like it picked up at the end where, but like throughout the story, I was like, man, this is gonna be kind of like a like the moment he met her, and
Hmm.
then the mom brought up, or like I think he met her after the mom brought up this whole axe murder. So it was like literally like the mom brings up that whole axe murder thing in her like in her special newspaper, and then immediately he like sees this girl. So you're like, that is totally that person. So it just in terms of like that development of that story, but I guess it picked up in the end where like the spoiler warning is that she is not the axe murderer. It's the
Hmm.
sister of the Harriet character who like gets like jealous, right?
Hmm.
That like people have like taken her sister away, so like she like writes a note saying like,
Murders him.
oh, like I don't like you anymore on their honeymoon, and so that like she believes that the husband like ran away, but she ends up murdering like the sister ends up murdering the husband.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice. It was like nice that it's like like you find that out as the story progresses at the very end,
Hmm.
where like you're like, oh yeah, man, she's it's actually not her. She's super nice. She's just a little weird, but
Yeah,
and
a
has
little
moved
quirky, but
around and had like multiple husbands and stuff. So a lot of that stuff is true, but she's not the
mhm.
murderer. So I
She
think
didn't
it's
kill
like
anybody.
I think the whole like I guess it's like kind of nice that like I was like played by the story. Like I'm just like always thinking like, oh, like
Yeah,
she it's gonna be this typical movie and everything that she's like the axe murderer and stuff at the end or something or whatever. But yeah, that was sort of like what kind of like what was always eating in my head, where it's like it's like every little thing, every little like I don't know, it's just because like I guess
like the
you expect
smoothie.
nowadays to have if they have like a
Hmm.
secret or like something, they kind of do a little bit better job of like kind of integrating that into the movie and stuff. And like we've seen movies where
Yeah,
like The Game and all these like other movies like the David Lynch's and like granted those are like the pinnacle of like some
yeah,
like thriller movies, but you can kind of do a little better job for like creating the story and like kind of integrating that.
yeah. But this, like this, the twist. I do like that they held the twist off until the end. Like
Mm-hmm.
they had the sister kind of in. They had the sister in the story. She was incorporated, but you would have said, "Oh, she's just a weird sister." So,
Yeah, she's
so it's
quirky
cool
and
that
stuff.
they were like, "Okay, here's the twist. Like she's the one that's killing these people, and she's been
Yeah,
killing these people this whole time."
yeah,
A little
but
bit jealous.
there was like a reference to her like jealousy at the very beginning because she said like, "Oh, I'm not gonna like tell my sister that anything happened between us," and I
Mm,
took that as like, I guess I don't know. I guess it was like there's multiple ways to kind of take that, but like I guess that was their like reference or a clue into like,
mhm.
hey, pay attention to this person.
Watch her. This is the
Yeah.
suspect.
But then afterwards, she's like in the background. She's never like a
Yeah,
prominent
never kind
character.
of
So it's like you
shows.
can't really like predict that. But I saw your rating. But
Yeah.
and I don't know if your voice was in my head too, where it's like I gave this movie a 3 stars out of 5 in our letterbox app. But I don't know if your voice was in my
Mhm.
head where like you always like you say like you kind of give like a consistent 3 stars to comedies and everything because like
Yeah.
these movies are not gonna win any like cinematography or like
No.
best story movie. So it's like it's a good kind of threshold to kind of start at 3 stars because like
Mhm.
anything above that, yeah, you should say like, oh, that has good cinematography, like this has good acting
Yeah.
or the
The
story is
story's
like
well thought out.
yeah. So I think it's like a good kind of like 3 and anything below it is like if there's anything faulty to it.
Yeah.
But
And
uh,
and you saw my rating. I gave it a 2.5.
mhm,
But my basis, I always start. I think I always typically start like you said. I start with giving a comedy a 3, and then work my way either up or down. This one I enjoyed, but I wasn't. I didn't consistently laugh. I think I kind of just got over that Mike Myers type of comedy fairly quickly. I did like the twist. I like the movie overall, but I was like, yeah, I can't give this a 3, and I gave it a 2.5.
and for me, I yeah, it doesn't bother me too much about Mike Myers and stuff because I feel like I laughed quite a bit when Mike Myers was on the camera and stuff, but I can see where
Mhm.
someone is like I think one time I had family over and we had I ended up watching Austin Powers and someone was like, I don't like this
Oh,
movie. I'm like, okay.
I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Yeah, it's like I love the movie. That's why I put it on. I was like, it's something I can just put on in the
Yeah,
background.
exactly.
but but yeah,
And
I can
still
see where
laugh at
it
this
gets
stuff.
annoying. Yeah, definitely. Like I put it on because I was around family and I thought I wasn't gonna like just put it on in the background, but I ended up watching the movie.
Mhm.
Family's
Or call
important,
him
but
Mini Me.
Austin Powers is fine.
You can't go wrong.
Right. But given the rating,
Mhm.
would you purchase this movie for your home collection? Maybe in 4K when it comes out? No.
No, I don't think so. Like there's too many other Mike Myers movies I like more than this. So I wouldn't purchase this one.
Yeah, I think this is like a what? I don't know how early on in his filmography is this? Is this like his first film? But
This is after Wayne's World, I think. I think Wayne's World came out like
okay.
92. I can look right now. Hold on. Because that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Wayne's World came out in '92.
Okay. Yeah, that's yeah, so it's like this in the way the Mike Myers pantheon. This is probably one of the lesser kind of movies that like yeah, you would probably go out of your way to go by Wayne's World or the
Oh
Austin
yeah.
Powers ones and stuff. It's like
Mhm.
those I think meet the expectations of like watching a Mike Myers. Even Shrek. Like
Oh, dude, Shrek
Shrek
is
really showed that
another level.
Mike Myers is like a character. Like he's someone that can like give you 100% for a character.
I watched I can't say I really watched it. I had it on. I had Shrek on during like Christmas time and I was still laughing.
Right?
I was like, this movie can never get old to me. All the little like the little things, just the little subtleties. Like the things you don't catch when you're a kid that now you're an adult and you're like, how was I allowed to watch this? Like this is not a kids movie.
Right? I don't know. When you like it's funny when you watch things in like your child lens, and then when you watch it again in your
Hmm.
adult lens, you're like, what the like I watched The Simpsons and
Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy when I was a kid, but man, if you watch it now, you're like, whoa, this is like straight up just
Oh
like
yeah,
sugar being thrown at your eyes.
my parents did not let me watch Ren and Stimpy when I was a kid.
No.
Yeah, they were like, no, 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 that's too much. Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy, like those were two I could not watch as a kid. But I could watch King of
Yeah.
the Hill.
Oh,
And South,
odd.
like somehow I start sneaking and watching South Park.
Yeah, King of the Hill is funny because it's like why stop your child from watching the other ones but not King of the Hill? Like they're all drunk all
Yeah.
the
Yeah. We would every Sunday, like, it's Fox used to have that Sunday night
Yeah.
like marathon of like Simpsons, Futurama. King of the Hill was one of the ones we used to freaking watch and like sing the intro or do the intro song. And now I'm like, I don't think I should have been watching that, but a little late.
Whatever. We came out pretty good.
Yeah, we're only a little jaded, but
Yeah, it's
we're
fine.
all right.
But all right, Kai, you want to take us out?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Saturday Night Popcorn. I'm Kai.
And I'm Jason, and we'll be back next week for another one.